Dan, RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day as always. Thank you, all of you, for being a part of my, as I'm liking to call my YouTube family. I very much appreciate that. That was Chicago, just you and me. Look at that. It's just how it is right now. It's just the two of us, yo. Unless there's like a bunch of you listening in one location. I don't know if that happens. That'd be cool. If that does, let me know. Anywho, where there's a will, there's a way. I learned when I was very young kind of an interesting little lesson in life that I think carried through. And it wasn't until I was older that I actually understood what manifesting was as a term, manifesting. But it really started when I was younger and I was in Little League. And my dad taught me this technique. And this really, truly, I think, started my whole movement in this direction as far as that manifesting stuff easily, if you will. But in baseball, before my games, he was my coach at one point, and I played baseball for years, and I was actually pretty good. And he would tell me beforehand, visualize yourself getting base hits, like hitting the ball. Visualize yourself when you're up at bat, hitting the ball. And so I would do that before games, and the games I did that before, I was always significantly better when I'd hit, when I'd get in there, when I'd be better. So, I'd go to the batting cage. When I was very young, I was hitting the super fast, and like all this, right? Just like I was really good. And that was part of it, was that belief, right? So I imagined it, and then I saw results, and then it just enforced it, and I realized, oh, I can do this. I can do this. All right, that's really awesome. I can do this. And I became better and better and better and better. One example of manifestation. I hope that comes home to a degree. When I got stranded out, first off, radio. Radio was another good one. Literally, radio was like, I knew I was going to do it, and I did fine out here, like, for free, basically. I volunteered at a station for 3 years. It was the college station. Did some shifts, had some great technology, learned a gob of stuff. Moved out to Tennessee eventually, manifested that, too, in a very cool way, but moved out to Tennessee. Worked at a bunch of tiny little radio stations that were still using literally 1950s equipment, and knew how to use it because I was trained. I mean, I was actually trained at a good school where I had used old and I had learned new. But the old stuff in our labs, actually at our school, was like the stuff I was using, and then the stuff that was in our studio. When I got to the big station, that's what they were using, and they said, "Oh, have you ever used Scott Systems?" And I'm like, "Yeah, totally. We had them back at my old station, like I don't know, like 5 years ago." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we had it. It's awesome. It's great. That's a pain to load in all the music, but whatever." And the guy's like, "No way." So, long story short, how did I get that job? Okay, I mean, aside from the fact that I have talent to a degree, maybe, I'm hoping, I called the dude, the program director, every freaking day for 3 months. 3 months. I knew that was my job. I knew that was where I was supposed to work. And I knew it was just a matter of time before I'd get in there. And I did. And I worked there for 3 years. Made horrible money. So there were some lessons learned out of all of that. But I got to be an overnight guy at a 100,000 watt classic rock radio station in Knoxville, Tennessee. Population of about 3.5 million people that could potentially be listening to my broadcast at any one time. And I don't know, at any one time, I probably had thousands of people listening. It was pretty cool. So, I've done that, and I did that based off of, again, belief. I knew that I could do whatever I put my mind to. Whatever I had a will to do, a way showed itself. And it wasn't until after, really, I got home from Tennessee, where I was doing radio, and started my life all over again, which was just catastrophic how it ended out there. Relationships, right? That's how it always works. But yes, when I got back out here, that was where I started reading like Esther Hicks and Law of Attraction and all that. I'm like, whoa, this manifesting. I mean, I kind of understood the concepts before to a degree, but it was really much later when I was already doing it. And then it was like, oh, you're defining what you've been doing. But for the most part, it is that imaginal, but then it's just that I know I can do this. And in none of these cases did I question it. It wasn't a question ever. Like in baseball, it was easy. In creating the job, it's easy. I need to apply that to the relationship thing, but I think actually I have over years. And I kind of wanted to get into a small little breakdown of how that's played out before we close out this whole thing. Maybe bring up one other point. But the first year and a half with me and my significant someone, my special person, was solid. It was awesome. It was amazing. And then the next year and a half, it was meh. You could tell it was already starting to kind of go downhill. The next year and a half after that, we didn't see each other at all, not once in a year and a half. And we chatted maybe once every 3 months. We'd text each other. That's probably as far apart as we've ever gotten. But we did that for about a year and a half, just nothing. And then about a year and a half ago, it started creeping back up to where, I'm texting once every couple months, once a month, once every 3 weeks, once every couple weeks, maybe once a week now, who knows? Occasionally more, I don't know, whatever. We'll see what happens. Both her and I have set a date. We're going to see each other. And I'm almost 100% sure, because it's been a while, we're both like, we'll see what happens. We both dig each other, there's no question. And I'm sure when we get together and have a chance to like hug each other and just, like so much feeling's going to come back. It's going to be like, it's going to start a whole new energy cycle process. And I think that is what her and I are going to use to springboard on to the next level together. Because obviously we got to do this together. So it happens again through will, determination, all these things. It was just a constant inside of me like, yeah, but this person is so incredible. And for her, it was the same thing. It was that same will that drove us, even when we weren't talking for a year and a half. So no matter how dark things may seem to be right now, when her and I weren't even talking, but occasionally, we both still felt it. We both still knew. Love is love. Love will find a way. If it's love, it will find a way. It'll heal whatever it needs to. It'll burn through what it's ever supposed to. And generally speaking, love is such a powerful motivator, it forces us to make beautiful changes. And probably the last thing I guess I'll bring up is, brother was going through a significant change in his life, divorce, and it took up a lot of, it was just a lot of energy that was suddenly needed. And as a family, we were going up against a family that was suing us, or him. He has nothing either, by the way, but was going after him with this crazy lawyer that was just hardcore. And I'm like, we need something. And he'd gotten a quote. And I'm like, all right, roughly, okay. And I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, there's got to be a way to get a lawyer. And a guy that I knew at the coffee shop that I saw like every day, and we just had a nice cordial relationship with each other. Really good guy. I love him dearly. He's great. And he thinks well of me. And I found out he's a family law attorney. Boom. And I hit him up and I was just asking him if the quote was fair. Long story short, we bought a couple hours from this guy. He gave us some free help for sure, as far as just helping us look over docs. Long story short, my brother walked away completely perfect. Got everything he wanted. We spent $700. They spent $14,000. Again, determination, will, that whole power, that driving force will and does always create results. It'll even burn through doubt when we're having it in our relationships. But it was really going through all that for me where I finally realized with my significant other, this is happening. And it was when I finally just said, this is happening. Things have taken on a different life completely. And I know they're happening. Even the couple times where small amounts of doubt might pop in, before a baseball game, be like, man, I hope I get some hits. Be like, dude, of course you're going to. You can see yourself doing it. Like, yeah, doubts creep in, but you immediately kick into the positive on it. You immediately see that, yes, I can do this. This technique works. I swear and promise this technique works. You put that energy out there, it will happen. It will. Now, I will say there are times where you're like, ooh, okay, should have been a little more specific. I did a video on that. Maybe left out a couple details and ended up with something kind of funny. If you're just trying to manifest something at random, if you will, and specific people are a different story. You've already got someone in mind. That's kind of defined very, very clearly. But that all being said, this is a very important concept to just remember and keep in mind. Your sheer determination to attain whatever it is you're trying to attain, and in many cases, the specific someone, or specific person, love of our life, our soulmates, right? Our twin flame. That power inside will drive you there. Let go a little. Again, it's one of those things like law of attraction talks about going downstream, right? You've already done the imaginal work. Energy's already pushed out. Thank you, Neville Goddard. Points from you, buddy. Love you as you float downstream, right? Let go of the oars. You know you've got it. You know it's going to happen. Stay focused on it. And these are kind of some of the ways where it helps a little if you just know. You're going to question, of course, but just know this works. And hopefully some of you have proven it on smaller things, but it's that determination, that sheer will. Even if you doubt and question along the way, it will steer you back to where you need to go. So maybe you're detouring down this, I might date someone else. And then all of a sudden things work to such a way, or they contact you in such a way, and it's not really going well, and you just had a bad date, and all of a sudden your ex contacts you, and you're like, how random. The universe has a way to steer us back. Sometimes we just get something. It's not that you went down a wrong course. You made a left, had a detour, and then made a right again, and you're heading in the direction you needed to go. You just had to get around something. So, determination. Let it go. Let it take you there. It will get you there. Determination. That's not just like imagining. Yeah, and you can doubt all you want, but when that determination is coming from within you and just saying you are doing this, you have to do this, it won't let you sleep at night unless you do. You'll get there. You'll drive yourself crazy, maybe trying to doubt it and question it, but yeah, in the end, your determination will win. Watch. Trust me. Right later, 2 years later from now, it's fine to be like, Dan, okay, you were right. I know. And it's not me being right. This is just how it works. It's just everyone teaches this stuff. I'm not the first person to do it. But yeah, that being said, I think, that pretty much wraps it up. I dropped my little notes. Hang on, let me check. All right, so irresponsible with my paperwork. That is it. So anyway, this is Dan RadioStyle. If you'd like to contact me, feel free to do so at danradiostyle@gmail.com. Appreciate all of you and my lovely YouTube family. We're going to be going out with a Styx song, coincidentally called Lady. Here it goes on Dan RadioStyle.